Good morning, and this is Morning Real, hosted by yours truly, Ray Salazar. If I see it, I review it. This is a 3 to 4 to 100 minute or so podcast of films that I review from 1889 to 2026, from black and white to Technicolor, mini DV, high 8, Super 8, Super 35, Super 16, 70 millimeter IMAX, digital, phone, whatever you got. I see it, I review it. There's tons of films out there. Man, this year, what a year, right? In filmmaking, man, I never thought I would talk about a film like Scream 7. Scream 7. Yes, there has been 7 installments of this film. Pretty iconic franchise, not only in filmmaking, but in the horror genre and the slasher subgenre. It really broke new waves. You know, it parted an ocean of sorts of how to tell a horror film story, you know, where the woman survives or the woman gets away with it. The woman's the hero, you know, and the man, well, they're pieces of crap. Scream 7, though, is a little bit different, but it's still the same. Look, I've only seen Scream 1, 2, and 3. And then I skipped all the way to 7, apparently. You know, I saw it at the Paramount Drive-In with the fam. It was a Papa John's type of screening. So shout out to Papa John's, you know, unofficial sponsor of this podcast. Chiclets. Get your chiclets, man. They taste good. All kinds of flavors. I'm waiting for the red one and the black one. Chiclets. We'll see. Scream 7, man. Look, this film was fun to watch. It's not a good film. I mean, it's edgy, very bold, because there's a lot of parts in this film where it starts, does it really make sense? Or should we just go with it like everybody else, right? And this is a film where you got to go with it. What's hilarious about this film, and a couple of people who've DM'd me, or actually I've DM'd them about them seeing the movie, you know, asking them, hey, like what is it like? You know, is it cool? Is it funny? Is it BS? Like I always thought it would be. And of course it is. But the thing that they talked about to me was how they incorporated the craze, the subject matter of AI technology, especially when it comes to committing crime. Apparently you could look like somebody else and haunt people, harass people, you know, terrorize people. It's crazy because that stuff is true. You know, we just don't see it in the news or whatnot. I don't know. But did it work in this film? You know, dude, like it wanted to work. It really wanted to work. And I'll tell you what, let me give the credits real quick. Scream 7 is a 2026 American slasher film directed by Kevin Williamson and written by Williamson, who also wrote Scream 1 and 2 and 4, I believe, you know. Anyways, directed by Kevin, screenplay by Kevin and Guy Busick, story by James Vanderbilt. No way. Anyways, and Guy Busick, based on the characters by Kevin Williamson, produced by William Sherrack, James Vanderbilt, and Paul Neinstein, starring, there's a huge list, Neve Campbell, Isabel May, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding, Anna Camp, David Arquette, Michelle Randolph, Jimmy Tatro, McKenna Grace, Asa German, Celeste O'Connor, Sam Reckner, Mark Consuelos, Tim Simons, Matthew Lillard, Joel McHale, and Courtney Cox. Dude, that's a big giant list of a cast right there. That's a cast. And as you know, Neve Campbell, Matthew Lillard, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette reprised their roles. You know, they're famous title characters in this film called Scream, or more specifically Scream 7. Look, what saved the movie to me, like what kept me going on the inside, because hey, like we paid for it, we got to watch it, right? And we got to watch it. We got to go with the fun, right? But what really just made me just want to stay invested in this film, and look, this film's kind of funny too, because look, you already know what's gonna happen. You kind of know where it's gonna go. You see the thematics in this film already. It does not waste time to show you what this film is about. So that's cool. It doesn't take too long. It doesn't drag on. It doesn't really slowly develop as it goes, being that it's like over 2 hours or whatnot, man. But what saved me was Courtney Cox's character, man. The reporter that's been wanting the interview from Sydney since the beginning of Scream, which was over 20 or 30 years ago now or whatnot, 20. Man, what a franchise. But she saved it. Like, the way her entrance is in this film, you know, she's still trying to make a big, she's trying to keep up. That's what she's trying to do. You know, that's what the film is about. It's about keeping up. It's about growing up, maturing, because it centers on teens, right? And this high school that gets terrorized. Sydney's daughter is now the kind of like, not the sacrificial one per se, but she's she's gonna take on the legacy right here. She's gonna see where it can go from there. But I don't think it would go to a Scream 8 or 9. But hey, Neve Campbell, Sydney, she's a mom now. She's a very protective mom. She tries to be a cool mom. She owns a small business. She's married to a cop, played Joe McHale. Dude, who would have thought? Who would have thought Joe McHale playing a cop? Because I cannot, dude. Ever since I saw him in Ted, bro, like that scene where he farts, it's a long ass fart too, because he's been holding it the whole day, which makes sense because, you know, honestly, that's some real shit when it comes to that movie Ted. But anyways, Joe McHale playing a cop, dude, and the serious cop at that. Like, this cop doesn't fuck around, you know. He's a normal human being, right? He doesn't beat on his wife or whatever. You know, he's a pretty solid dude. He takes the role seriously, Joe McHale. And hey, man, that guy lasts most of the film, you know. It's hard to, when it comes to horror film, you know, you get the bigger role if you last the whole film, right? And Neve Campbell, once again, she lasted through that one, man. Courtney Cox's character too finally got the interview after all this time, and the way she sticks it to him in that interview was pretty freaking good. Like, it's just decades of resentment, of buildup, of retaliation of sorts. Anyway, so apparently there's a killer on the loose again, right? And Sydney eventually finds out about it, and she gets these Zoom calls or these FaceTime calls from this dude who looks like Matthew Lillard, right? Lily or whatever, you know, and it's him. And we're like, what the hell? I thought he died, you know? And throughout this whole film, we're questioning, is it really him? Is it really him? Because, like, come on, dude. Like, okay, it's not AI, really. You know, it's really Matthew Lillard playing the role of a copycat of sorts, you know, playing Matthew Lillard's character, right? And there's all these, like, little twists and turns, and half the time it makes sense. Half the time it doesn't. Like Sidney Prescott's daughter, she's maybe a senior in high school. I don't know. She has a boyfriend who's good looking, charming, pretty, you know, kind of down to earth. And then later on in the film, it turns out that he was doing some weird shit, and we don't even know if it was not confirmed in the film if it was all BS or if it was true, or if it does it even matter at that point, because people are dying, damn it. And it's not cool. There's a lot of killing in this film. It's pretty brutal. And not all of it is AI. It looks pretty real to me, you know. What's crazy about this film is how, because I haven't seen the first Scream in a long time, in films like these, especially horror films, especially when you got actors who are in the film who are much older than the younger talent, and it's a competition, man. This film thing is a competition. You know, you always want to make the biggest money. You always want to make a pretty good critical film, or a film that does stand the test of time, right? And you yourself as an actor proves that in every film you're in, right? So like a character like Courtney Cox's character who plays the reporter, you know, in the first Scream, she's an up and coming reporter. She's hot. You know, not just in the ratings or whatever, you know, and she's got to stay hot. She always got to be on top, and that's just who she is, right? And you got these teens who are basically leading the way. They're leading the story. Obviously, it didn't happen to an older folk. It happened to teenagers, high schoolers, crap like that. Anyways, come back to Scream 7, 2026. Much older, but she still got the tenacity, She still wants it. She has the drive. And she hires Gen Z people. She hires millennials. And you got millennials versus Gen X and Gen Z. That's the whole film, right? And it's kind of cool that it tries to outplay each other. All these like characters try to like outweigh like as far as who they are societal wise, right? You got these teens who basically think that they don't got to worry about anything. They got it. You got these millennial folks who are, man, I don't know about this, man. We got to be on our toes. And we got these Gen Xers who have the whatchamacallit, they've been through it, they've also been through life, they've been through hardships, they have the experience, and they're trying to shower all that knowledge to the younger gens, but they don't freaking listen. And look what happens. People die, people get killed unnecessarily. I mentioned that the film scenes that involve the slashings and the killings are pretty good. Some characters don't really last that long. Some, I don't know why they last long, but it's crazy. It comes out to be a whodunit type of film, as always, right? With 3 generations, and we got technology too. We got a part in the film where I think Sydney, she tries to FaceTime her daughter, or rather not. No, she tries to communicate with her daughter via the Ring app, the Amazon Ring camera app, but because wherever she's at, her cellular data, her networking data, the signal stream sucks. So she's like, God damn it, like fucking technology or whatever. But yeah, man, it was kind of whack seeing exactly like who exactly was going to be the killer. And obviously it wasn't Matthew Lillard, but I really thought for a second, like, dang, is it really him? Like, does he have like a twin brother? I was just thinking about that. Does he have a twin brother? Like, is that where they're going to come up with? Because gosh darn, like, that's freaking ballsy. Nah, but it ends up being a man and a woman. But a neighbor woman of all things, And who could have thought it was her? But the clues were there, right? But everybody else's clues were there as well. It's a good whodunit film in a sense. But it's kind of whack. There's not much story. There's a lot of buildup and like where the killings go, how they pick up the pieces. It turns out there's like an insane asylum type of thing going on. And it just doesn't really make too much sense to me as to why that one specific chick from the Pitch Perfect series, the blonde one, the leader, whatever her name is. But what? That shit didn't make no sense, dog. Even like following the film, because honestly I didn't follow the film too much because the audio kind of sucks when you're watching a drive-in film. You don't want to bump it up too loud because when it gets too loud and then when something loud happens, boom, your speakers go out or whatever, It's just kind of whack that it turned out to be her. And not only like, not the fact that it's her, but like how she revealed herself to be, like the character turns out to be a fanboy of sorts, a fangirl of sorts, And you're just like, what? She's doing all of this because she's just trying to top you or something like that? See, that didn't make too much sense to me. I thought that was whack. And then the older guy who worked there or something like that, like, did he really need to be there, man? But like, there was a lot of killers though. We all thought it was just one or at least 2 people, much like the other Scream films. But dude, there was a lot of like potential killers, like maybe up to 4. I don't know. But see, that's the thing that they don't really reveal in the film. Or maybe they did reveal it and I didn't pay too much attention to it because at that point I was all Papa John's out, all sold it out. And I sort of gave up. And then every time when Courtney Cox would come on or Neve Campbell, the duo, when they're really getting it on, trying to solve a crime, that's when I would wake up. It's so nice to see Neve Campbell as a mom. It's nice to see her playing in like just an adult mom, responsible type of character, like who would have thought that it would come to that, you know, because like the other Scream film, you didn't have too much of that, of the old shit, you know, but then boom, they bring it back to the OGs, and hopefully the film ends with that. And well, the series ends with that film. The thing I didn't like about like the third act or whatever is it's the showdown with the daughter and the killer. And not only that, those freaking one-liners were, you know, well, I'm the last one to make it, bitch, or some shit like that. There's a lot of bitch in that film, you know, rightfully so, you know. But those one-liners were fucking cheesy, dog. Even for like a horror film like that, how dare you, dog? It's a Wes Craven production, or was. And look at you, just milking it for what it is, you know, or what it could be. Well, if I have to give this film a rating out of 4, although I enjoyed it, should you see this movie? Is it worth the money? Or you just wait till it gets on digital? I will give it 2.5 out of 4 stars. 2.5 out of 4. What can you say? It's got a back and forth type of plot where it sort of doesn't make sense. It barely makes sense, but I think that's all you need when it comes to films like these, you know. What can you really do about it? Would I go see it again? Probably not, but to be honest, it makes me want to go back to the original Scream films and review them, because those are iconic in themselves, you know. Scream 3 is pretty good. I still like Scream 3. I haven't seen that one in a long time. I never saw 4, 5, and 6 when they went to New York, and I'm like, what? Like, you gotta, really? Like, but I'll say this, though. The Scream franchise and all that stuff, a dream costume like for Halloween would be the killer, you know, the killer with the mask and the black drape and all that stuff. I would like to be that for Halloween, you know. It's a pretty cool fucking outfit. It's a ridiculous outfit. A person like that running away or trying to chase somebody to kill them, it's pretty wild. There's a lot of chasing in that film too, man. Like, dude, oh my god. Okay, so that's the thing I didn't fucking like about the film. All these killers are overpowered, dog. They're OP. I swear. Man, if you were to stab them in the freaking heart, it would take multiple stabbings for them to like be done, or a shooting for that matter. You know, it takes a lot for that dude to go down or that woman to go down. And trust me, there are scenes where, you know, they get bitch slapped with objects, but dude, they just get up. But that's the thing about horror films, you know, like there's that little thing where the killer is a little bit unstoppable, but it is stoppable. But the regular characters, the ones that are trying to kill this guy, dude, with one little stab in the arm, they're already like, oh my god, I'm about to die, or type of thing, you know. Yeah, that's the thing I didn't like about it. I thought that was kind of whack. It really killed the film a little bit, you know. I do like the scenes where they push the killer through windows and the glass breaks, and it's pretty wild, you know. It's a nice little neat, you know, stunt. I like seeing stuff like that, man. A whodunit, female empowerment. Neve Campbell is a mom, and she's kicking ass, and she's protecting her family. And man, Joe McHale, a real one. He's a real one. 2.5 out of 4 tokes. My name is Ray Salazar. Follow me in the Morning Shot Films, IG and YouTube. If you want to send any requests for me to review films, you can send that to officialmorningreel@gmail.com. You can check out all my work at morningshotfilms.co. The next film that's going to be coming out, as far as the reviews are concerned, will be Good Will Hunting. And I got a lot more to talk about. Sentimental Value. Definitely going to talk about that film. It's finally on Hulu. I've been wanting to see it since it came out in the theater. It won Best Foreign Language Film in the Oscars. And, you know, forgot his name, but his last name's Trier. He did The Worst Person in the World. Pretty good film. So I'm assuming a film like this that deals with family and family relationships. Joachim Trier, that's his name. That's something I want to see. And then maybe later on next month, I'm going to see this film about don't gamble with poker players or something like that. It's a 40s film, and basically don't fuck around with poker players, man, because they will get you in trouble or get them in trouble. I don't know. Thank you. See you on the next one.